Alrighty, I'm gonna get started even though people aren't joining just yet because I know I'm gonna have to post this on YouTube later. I don't want the wait at the beginning to be too long. So for our warm-up for today, we are going to doodle a bunch of circles and fill those circles with different patterns. So here we go. Zoom out so you can see my paper. Okay, so this is kind of another thing that's good for mindfulness. Just doodling circles, big and small, overlapping, some more wobbly. They don't have to be perfect. It's kind of like a bunch of bubbles. And then in each section, you can fill it with a different pattern. So I'm going to fill in this section here with a stripy pattern. And if you're just joining now, I think I saw a couple of people join. We are drawing a bunch of circles and then filling in each section with a different pattern, just as a quick warm-up and a mindfulness activity. I'll do stripes the other way. So each section that's created because of the overlapping circles will be a different pattern. I'm just kind of outlining the section before I draw it so I can kind of see. And patterns are repeated shapes, repeated elements. Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Happy last week of April. And if you have colors, you can use colors as pattern as well. When you reach the edge of your shape, try to do like, if you're doing hearts, try to show parts of it so it looks like it would continue. Okay, and this is just a warm-up. Again, we doodled a bunch of circles, different sizes. Some were more wobbly, and I made them overlapping so they make extra interesting shapes. And then you're going to fill in each space with a different pattern. See how many different patterns you can come up with. If you have colors, this might be a little bit easier because you could do hearts that are red, hearts that are blue. You do like a flower pattern in this little section here. Okay, and I think I'll do one more section for now and then get on with our doodle along. And of course you shouldn't rush. You can finish this later on. Plenty of time. Do like a lightning pattern. Like Harry Potter's scar. And your pattern can have more than one type of object. You can make 2 or 3 things a pattern. Okay, so that is our warm-up for today. Drawing a bunch of circles and filling in each shape with different patterns. And the doodle we're going to do today is going to be an Oriental dragon. Remember on Friday we drew a European dragon. Today we're going to do an Oriental dragon or a Chinese dragon. So Chinese dragons are more snake-like. We're going to start by drawing kind of in the center of your paper. Is going to be where I'm going to put the head. So you can start with a circle shape for the head, and like a rectangular, kind of like a trapezoid shape for like the snout of the dragon. Okay. So circle of the head, and this is like the snout. And so now you're going to really lightly draw some curved lines. You can decide how you want it. But basically it's going to be the snaky body of the dragon. So for my dragon, I'm going to imagine this as its spine. It's going to go around and loop again, and then his tail's going to end up here. You can make your dragon's body a little bit different, but this is how I'm going to draw my dragon's body. And again, on Friday we drew a European dragon. Today we're drawing an Oriental dragon or a Chinese dragon. We started with like the head shape, and then we're kind of drawing in where the spine might be, just to give us an idea of where to draw his body. Okay, and if you imagine this as like its spine, we're going to add 2 lines on either side to give his body a thickness. And like I said, Chinese dragons are more snake-like. And here the head's covering part of his body. So I'm just going to go on the other side. And here where there's extra lines, I'm just following the first line that we drew. So we're going to go around this way first. And here I'm going to stop a little bit before, because this is going to fold under. Okay, and maybe I'll use this line to continue here, and then imagine this line continues underneath this part of the body, and thin out the tail. Okay. So going back, we just did one side of kind of the body in most parts. So we're going to add another line on the other side of the spine. And again, goes above. And then I'm just joining it here. Okay, and then this part that we drew for the tail, you can continue the line so it kind of curves back into itself so that it looks like it's one body. Hopefully that made sense. Sometimes you don't kind of draw everything that's connected right away. You have to leave a little gap and fill it in later, especially when there's things that are looping on itself and overlapping. So again, we drew the head, we drew like a snout shape, we drew a spine, and then we went back and we added a bit of a thickness to the body with this spine shape as a guide. And that's how I got this loop-de-loop shape. And those are our basic shapes. Okay. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Awesome. So let's add some more details to the face here. I'm gonna erase a little bit so it's not as dark. That's our face shape. And about here, like where the two shapes kind of join, is where the eyes are going to be. So to draw the eyes, you can draw like an angled line and then a rounded bottom part. And you can decide what kind of eyes you want. You can give it a shine and then color it in as we normally do. Okay, and kind of around here, I'm going to draw like a little snout, the nostril. Okay. And I'm only drawing one nostril because his head's kind of pointed, so you will only see maybe a little bit of it on the side. Okay, and then for eyebrows, you can decide what you want to do, but for me I'm going to do kind of like a fluffy shape. So like round strokes. Maybe you want to draw them as flames. That's fine with me. Okay. And for the jaw part, right here where it's connected, like the two shapes are kind of overlapping, you can use this line. We're just going to round it out. And we're going to actually bring it down a little bit. So if you follow my gesture here, it's got like a little dip. And so this will be the top part of his snout, his jaw is at the bottom. I'm leaving a little gap so it looks like his mouth is open. And Chinese dragons often have beards, so before you close off the chin here, you can add some little lines for the beard. You can make it longer if you like. Okay, there's also often little hairs and things off the side, so I'm just kind of drawing squiggly lines that come out from his cheek, I guess. And they also have whiskers, so from kind of around the snout, I'm going to draw a little whisker on both sides. Okay, and for the hair, you can also draw a bunch of spikes if you like, or flames if you're doing like a flame dragon. And they also have horns, so before we add too many bits of hair here, we're going to add in the horn. So one horn is going to be here, one horn is going to be kind of here, but because it's on the back side of the head, you're not going to see as much of it over the hair here. So again, you can decide what kind of shape you want to give the horns. I'm going to give mine like a tree branch shape. Kind of like that. The little chop part, I guess. And whatever you do here, try to mirror image that on the other side. Or you can make it asymmetrical. That's totally fine. You can have two different horns if you like, because he's your dragon. Or she is your dragon. and then draw in the horns, and then you can fill in with more hairs. And if you have colors, you can like make these multicolors, add more details. I'm going to draw a few lines across here, so it looks like he's wrinkling his long snout. Okay, so that's the head. Now if you follow kind of the spine line that we drew, we can add in some spikes along his spine. So I'm just going to do triangles. You can decide what kind you want. Yours can be more round. And actually it probably goes back here. Okay, and because his body is snake-like, it's probably twisting and turning in weird and interesting ways. So I'm drawing a dragon that doesn't have the arm and leg limbs, but you can totally add them in if you like. Maybe I'll show you kind of where they would be. Like one arm might be here with claws. Oriental dragon bodies are really long, and his other legs, I don't know, maybe like here, and more claws, and maybe this one's hidden behind here. Okay, but just to simplify it for you, I'm gonna leave out the arms for now. But you can feel free to add them in if you like. So I'll continue drawing the spine in while you catch up. There's not many steps left. I think the dragon's head is the most complicated part of this. And I'm gonna imagine that his spine loops around down here. And notice I'm drawing some spines that are at the edge and some spines that are kind of on top. You can vary that so it looks like his body's twisting and turning. Here I'm going to twist it in this way. It's a really long dragon. I think a big difference with European dragons and Oriental dragons, at least in stories, is that European dragons tend to seem really scary and dangerous. Knights go on quests to try to kill it to save princesses. But I think in a lot of Chinese stories, they're actually really kind and they're really powerful, but they're really helpful. And they bring good luck and good fortune. I guess it depends on the dragon as well. But for the most part, I think I'd rather hang out with a European or an Oriental dragon. Gonna go all the way to the tail. Okay. And I'll erase some of my lines here. So it's a little bit more clear. So we started with the head shape, kind of like an anchor, and then we kind of drew his spine and built up our picture that way. And then we doubled up to make the thickness of his body, and we made sure we were careful where they were overlapping and twisting. We drew the face features, whiskers, we drew some antlers or horns, and then we just filled in the spine spikes. And again, they don't have to be triangular like mine. They could be flames if you're doing a flame dragon. They could be more rounded. Okay, so a couple more things that you might want to do. You can add the scales. So for the scales, if you imagine that we're going to go from the head downwards so that everything's kind of in the same direction, we're going to start here to do the spike or the scales. So for my scales, I'm just going to do them kind of like fish scales. So I'm doing round strokes, offsetting them for the second row, and I'll continue my way down. And at the beginning, you're going to have a whole bunch of different lines in the way, so just keep it light so it doesn't get too confusing. So yeah, I'm just doing round little curves, and I'm following the shape of my dragon's body. Hopefully you can see that. I'm trying to offset it a bit each time. And don't forget this part on the other side of the spikes. And your dragon doesn't have to be scaly. It can be rocky, it can be different patterns. You can really doodle whatever you want. I'm just doodling mine like so. Okay, I'm gonna go a bit faster. You can take all the time you want. Just want to fill in my dragon scales. And I'm basically just doing the same thing along the rest of his body. Okay, and notice I'm curving as I go, following the form of my dragon. And similar to when we drew the castle and we did the texture, you don't have to draw every scale if you don't want to. You can draw a couple here and then make sure it continues further down so that it looks like the pattern continues. Okay, so at this point I'm going to start drawing hints of the scales instead of every scale. But I'm still following the same form. All the way down. And we've reached our tail. And the tail, you can kind of decide what shape you want it to look like, but basically it will look kind of bigger, and then it will taper down into the tip of the tail. So I'm gonna draw a basic shape that looks like a leaf, just to start with, to guide what I'm going to draw. And then, so that's my basic shape, looks like a leaf. And it tapers down at the tip of the tail. And I'm going to kind of mimic this kind of hair, kind of along the edges of my leaf shape. Like so. For a tail, you can add some more strokes in the middle if you like. It gives it more volume. Okay. So that is my Oriental dragon. Very snake-like. Doesn't have the limbs. You can add limbs if you like. We started with the basic shapes. Did like a spine shape to kind of guide how our body's gonna look. We drew in the face features, the antlers or the horns. We drew spine, and we added a texture to the body, and we added a tail. Okay? So hopefully you were able to follow along, and you're getting used to drawing basic shapes now to start with. It's really helpful, especially if you wanted to draw your own drawing from reference pictures, to be able to observe and pick out the most basic shapes so that you can redraw what you see. My challenge for you today is to complete this dragon drawing with a background. So similar to your European dragon drawing, where is this Oriental dragon? What is he doing? Again, is he guarding treasure? Is he helping someone on a quest? Or she? I don't know. It's up to you. If you would like to share your drawings with me, please do so. Post them in the group so we can all see. My inspirational quote for you for today is, if you are willing to do something that might not work, you're closer to being an artist. So take risks, try to doodle everything, or make other art. Anything will do. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye!